Two people earn the exact same salary, same job, same economy, same starting point. 30 years pass. One of them is a millionaire. The other, still living paycheck to paycheck. Nothing dramatic happened between them. No lottery win, no secret investment. Just one quiet rule. A rule almost nobody follows. And here's the strange part. Most people already know this rule. They've heard it before. They just don't follow it. Because the real problem with money usually isn't knowledge, it's behavior. Most of us grow up believing a simple story. Work hard, get a stable job, earn more money over time, and eventually everything will fall into place. For a long time, that belief made sense. But today, something feels different. Look at the data. According to research from the Federal Reserve, a surprising number of households earning over $100,000 a year still report feeling financially stressed. Which sounds strange at first, because not long ago, a six-figure income meant you were doing very well. So why do so many people earning good money still feel stuck? The answer is simple. Income and wealth are not the same thing. Income is the money that flows into your life. Wealth is the money that stays and quietly multiplies. That difference changes everything. Imagine two people. Both earn about $80,000 a year, a solid middle-class income in many parts of the United States. The first person spends most of what they earn. Nothing outrageous, just everyday life. Rent, groceries, streaming subscriptions, maybe a car payment, the occasional vacation. By the end of each month, there isn't much left. The second person lives almost the exact same life, same job, same salary, same general expenses, but they follow one small rule. Every month, they automatically invest about $500. Nothing complicated, just a simple index fund. Now, $500 a month doesn't feel revolutionary. It's not some genius financial strategy. It's simply consistent. But this is where the math starts doing something interesting. If $500 is invested every month and grows at roughly 8% a year, after 30 years, it turns into about $745,000, $750,000 from a habit that felt almost insignificant in the beginning. And here's what most people miss. That growth didn't happen because someone invested huge amounts of money. It happened because of something far more powerful: time and compounding. Compounding is one of the most powerful forces in finance, but it's also one of the most misunderstood, because in the beginning, compounding feels invisible. The first few years feel slow, sometimes painfully slow. You invest money, your balance grows a little, but nothing exciting happens, which makes people think it's not working. But then something shifts. After about 10 years, the numbers start moving faster. After 20 years, the growth begins accelerating. Eventually, your investments begin generating more money than you're adding. At that point, the snowball starts rolling on its own. Money begins building more money. But there's a psychological problem. Humans are terrible at appreciating slow progress. Our brains are wired for immediate rewards. Psychologists call this present bias. It means we naturally value rewards today far more than rewards in the future. That's why spending money feels good instantly. You buy something, you enjoy it immediately, your brain gets the reward. But investing doesn't feel like that. You move money into an account and nothing exciting happens. Your life looks exactly the same tomorrow, which makes it easy to believe those decisions don't matter. But they do. Because financial life is built through thousands of tiny decisions. The moment you decide to invest instead of spend. The moment you delay a purchase. The moment you allow time to do the heavy lifting. Each moment seems small, almost invisible, But over decades, those tiny choices create massive differences. And here's where things get interesting. People who eventually become wealthy usually aren't making wildly different decisions. They're making slightly better decisions repeated consistently. Instead of upgrading their lifestyle every time income increases, they increase their investments. Instead of spending every bonus, they save part of it. Instead of waiting for the perfect time to invest, they start early. Those differences sound small, but small decisions repeated over decades turn into massive outcomes. There's a famous example that illustrates this perfectly. Two co-workers start their careers at the same time. One begins investing immediately, but only for the first 10 years. After that, they stop contributing entirely. The second person waits 10 years before starting, but then invests consistently for the next 30 years. You would assume the second investor ends up with more money. After all, they invested 3 times as long. But often the opposite happens. The first investor still ends up ahead. Why? Because their money had 10 extra years to compound. Time did the heavy lifting, and time is the one resource in investing that can never be replaced. You can always invest more money later, but you can't get back lost time. Which brings us back to that quiet rule most people ignore. Start owning assets as early as possible. Assets are things that grow in value or produce income. Stocks, businesses, real estate, investments. They continue working even when you're not. That's the key difference between income and wealth. Income stops when you stop working. Assets keep growing, even while you sleep. Now, this doesn't mean you need to become a financial expert overnight. Most successful investors don't use complex strategies. They simply stay consistent. They invest regularly, they avoid emotional decisions, and they give their money time. Over decades, that simple behavior creates something powerful: financial independence. The freedom to make life decisions without constant financial pressure, the ability to choose how you spend your time. And that freedom rarely comes from one dramatic moment. It comes from discipline, consistency, and patience. Most people will ignore this rule, not because they don't understand it, because the reward feels too far away. 30 years sounds like a long time, but here's the truth. 30 years will pass anyway. The real question is what your money will be doing during that time. Will it quietly compound in the background, or will it disappear through spending, never getting the chance to grow? Because the difference between those two paths often comes down to one habit: investing consistently, letting time work in your favor, allowing small decisions to build momentum. So if there's one idea worth remembering, it's this: your income can make life comfortable, but ownership is what builds wealth. And the earlier you start owning assets, the easier everything becomes later. If this made you think about money a little differently, consider subscribing, because understanding how money really works is one of the most valuable skills you can build. And the sooner you understand those rules, the sooner your financial future starts changing.